Oh man, Rashad Penny time.
Rashad Pennytime, boys, what's going on? It is Matty Big Chest of the DWZ Table Talk. I'm here with my better half, Dr. Kyle at DWZ underscore Dr. PT on Twitter. He's a great follow. He gives you live updates on Twitter when the injuries happen. Um, how are you doing, Kyle?
I'm good. Yeah, another slew of injuries this week, but I think we're getting
Bloodbath.
good at zigging and zagging,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially
Yeah,
with the
man.
help of Memphis and Jerry these days.
It's great. If you need the help of Memphis and Jerry, patreon.com/Dynasty Warzone will help you out. And it's literally you get instant feedback from somebody. Like if it's not Jerry and Memphis, it's probably me because I'm always on. But there's always instant feedback on trades, start sits, and injury questions. So just join the Patreon. It's worth it. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
at me in the group chat, and I'll get back to you ASAP. I'm not always the most responsive when there's constantly 100 missed messages because these guys and gals are going nonstop. But
Hmm.
happy to help when I can.
Yeah, man. But bloodbath in week 3, we lost some running backs, we lost some wide receivers. Some wide receivers didn't go. Like,
hmm
it hurts, man. I'm 0-3 in some leagues that I thought were championship contenders just because of injuries.
Likewise,
It
it's
hurts.
time to figure out what the real game plan is. Some of those dynasty leagues.
I've been selling some guys. I just sold T.Y. Hilton for Jonnu Smith. Just got to get young, you know? It just feels
I love
like
it.
the season's kind of over when you're 0-3, and especially if you have a league median game, you're 0-6. That one hurts. So
Yeah,
I'm ready to talk about these injuries. Chris Carson is a guy that I don't own in any dynasty formats just because of injuries. He's a great running back though when he's healthy. So what happened?
yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen the video at this point. Cowboys Tristan Hill decided to alligator roll him after wrapping him up and sprained his knee. Lucky for Chris and we're on a first name basis. Lucky for Chris and the Seahawks. It's just a minor knee sprain. So, sort of what George Kittle was diagnosed with, but different mechanism of injury and different severity of injury. I would like to think Kittle will be back this week.
Hmm.
Carson could probably be back this week, maybe on a limited basis. So keep an eye on the injury report and the practice report leading up to Friday. You want to see at least questionable, ideally probable, and maybe a full practice Friday. Um, Likewise, I don't have Carson. I have Carson. I have zero Carson redraft or dynasty. His price in all of them wasn't my cup of tea. Maybe it's
Mm-mm.
time to stash your pennies,
Your
hides,
DJ
and
Dallas.
yeah, maybe your DJ Dallas.
I was watching a Memphis game. A Miami game last year, and it was like Miami against some ACC team, but DJ Dallas looked like Ezekiel Elliott when he was running the ball. So I call him Mini Zeke. I like DJ Dallas a lot. I think Seattle likes him a lot. But in this instance, it's a older head coach we're talking about. I think it's gonna be Carlos Hyde time. It's kind of cut and simple. Carlos
Yep.
Hyde's gonna be the guy.
Yep.
So
Old reliable. Just need somebody
hmm
in there to stand beside Russell Wilson while he chucks it deep.
yeah,
Um,
he's been
but
awesome.
moving on, speaking of Dallas, not Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Goddard
Yeah.
left the game on Sunday with what they thought was a high ankle sprain, which we know is no bueno. Turns out he has a minor fracture in his ankle, and he's going to miss some time. That's
Hmm.
a very depleted Eagles tight end and receiving core to begin with. That is even more depleted. I believe Deshaun Jackson also has a minor hamstring strain he's dealing with, but
Yep.
could go this week. They, I believe, signed Jerry's boy Hakeem Butler today.
To play
So
tight end, not even wide receiver.
seriously,
Yeah, they it says Eagles signed tight end Hakeem Butler on the news, so they listed him as a tight end. It seems,
they
which
just
is
want to
funny.
keep that 12 personnel going. That's the designation there. I wonder
I
what he'll be
mean,
in scoring formats for
what?
like
Yeah,
that'll be
what
interesting.
happens there? I mean, if he becomes the Darren Waller 2.0 of this season just because of targets, that would just be hilarious because everybody wrote him off as a wide receiver, and then he just comes in as a tight end and plays seam packages. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna add him. I'm gonna add him in as cheaply as I can in a handful of
Hmm.
places on some of the deeper dynasty benches. But why not stash him and see what happens? There's plenty of targets to go around at some point in that offense, I
Yeah.
think.
Speaking
Uh,
about plenty of targets, Greg Ward is a guy that's going to be getting a lot of targets in that offense. He's not a sexy wide receiver, but he is a flex play when you got him because he's just going to be the guy there right now. There's nobody there.
yeah, he's this week's Braxton Berrios probably.
Hmm. Who didn't love Braxton Berrios, man? That was awesome from him. 2 weeks in a row, he's just lighting it up. That's
Yeah,
gonna
super
go away once Jameson Crowder comes back. Hopefully he comes back.
potential. Yeah, I think Crowder could be back this week. I think I read that today.
Hmm.
Moving on to another tight end that left the game, Jordan Reed, our boy, was finally looking like the resurrected version of himself in Christmases past. But I believe he sprained his MCL, which the timetable
Hmm.
on that is generally 2 to 4 weeks. I would say if it's if he's not having surgery and it's not too serious, but the latest reports believe he could be out for 6 to 8 weeks, and he's already been placed on the short term IR, so he'll probably be on it for a couple of terms. So he's going to get his bachelor's and possibly a master's and a PhD in his short term IR when all is said and done. So hopefully
Hmm.
Kittle is back this week. I believe Debo Samuel is going to be practicing this week, and he's eligible to come off the IR at any point. And then potentially Jimmy G is back this week, though. Nick Mullins played the part well enough last week against a terrible Giants team. What are your thoughts on what the 49ers might have to make up here? Is this just Jordan Reed being Jordan Reed? Everybody else will get healthy and we move on.
Yeah, so I mean the 49ers just been rough for them, their running back core. We told you last week Jeff Wilson Jr. was a name to pick up. That paid off. He hit pay dirt twice. Jarek McKinnon, he was awesome. He got a touchdown as well. And then, Jermichael Hasty got some touches. I like Jeff Wilson Jr. Going forward in this offense. Um, but Jordan Reed, man, it was really nice to see a resurgence from him, but it's just a bummer that he can't stay healthy because we love his talent. Like everybody from Madden knows that he was an awesome tight end to play with in Madden as well. That's
Mm-hmm.
just a joke because he was a cheat code in Madden back in the day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just one of those guys that it seemed like once Kittle came back, if he was still healthy, they might trade him to a team that needed a tight end. But now that he's hurt, it just kind of hurts them. So he's just on the bench.
Yes. Speaking of on the bench, looks like AJ Brown will be staying on the bench at least another week. He's got a bone bruise. They take
Yeah.
time. There's not a whole lot you can do to speed him up, and his is not responding quickly. So business as usual for that Titans offense. Derrick Henry, Jonnu Smith, Corey Davis, Adam Humphries. That's about it. Hopefully Darrington
Hmm.
Evans gets a bit more involved, but not a whole lot new there.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
great news for Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith has been awesome at the start of the season. He has around in a PPR league around like 60 points if it's tight end premium on the year. So he's been like lighting it up in a tight end premium scoring format. I just bought him in a league for T.Y. Hilton. And if I traded T.Y. Hilton in a first and I got Jonnu in a second. And I needed a
Solid.
tight end badly, and it fills that role. And I love Jonnu Smith. This offense, he looks like a running back
I do
playing tight
too.
end.
I do. He's an amazing athlete. They figured out ways to get him the ball in space, and I think those big
Hmm.
plays are going to continue. He's not somebody who's going to need 7, 8, 9 targets like Zach Ertz has in the past. He can do a lot with 4 to 6, I think.
Now, I
Uh,
wonder who's going to test positive on the Titans for COVID.
let,
That's where
let's
I'm
not go down
scared.
that rabbit hole right now. Let's
We're
not go
not
down
going
that
down that
rabbit hole
rabbit
right
hole,
now.
but I have too many Titans for this to happen. This is too scary for me. If this
Yes.
happens again, then I'm going to be 0-4 in a lot of leagues because I have A.J.
Yeah.
Brown and Jonnu Smith and Derrick Henry in plenty of leagues, and I'm not ready for this. Just please do not do this to me.
Anyway, we have all right. So we got a bunch of wide receivers left on the list.
Oh
So
yeah,
let's
just a
let's go
string
let's
of
go
them.
with our last running back, and then we'll rattle off the rest of the receivers.
Hmm.
Tariq Cohen tore his ACL. He is done for the year, and it doesn't sound like the Bears are bringing anybody new in. I don't know what their running back running back depth looks like, but I would be looking to add Cordarrelle Patterson and Darnell Mooney. Got
Yeah.
he doesn't necessarily directly benefit from Cohen's absence, but he is their second receiver, as Anthony Miller is primarily their slot guy now.
Mooney is great. Mooney reminds me a
Yeah,
lot of a Tyreek Hill kind of guy. He's fast. He's very fast. If he can put it all together, he's a fourth, fifth round pick. If he can put it together, he's gonna see snaps on the field. He's gonna see targets from Nick Foles, and he's gonna get down the field quickly, getting those Bears deep shots because Allen Robinson's gonna be opening up over the middle, taking over safety help for him. So I mean, Mooney's a sneaky buy because of Anthony Miller and hello dogs, Anthony Miller and Allen Robinson taking up some of the top cornerbacks. I think Mooney's a great buy, similar to Andy Isabella, who is
yeah,
just broken out against the Detroit Lions. I mean, it's the Detroit Lions, but he had nice catches. I just wanted to talk about him quickly because I've loved Andy Isabella, and I started him this week, like this last week, which is crazy to like. People did not start Andy Isabella, and I started him. He got me 20 something points, and I'm gonna keep
impressive.
him, and I'm gonna keep rolling with him.
That a boy. Well done.
Yeah, man.
That speaks. Hopefully, that doesn't speak too much to your drafting ability, or more so the fact that probably everybody else is banged up. Um,
Yep.
but all right. So what do we got? We got
Michael
five receivers
Williams.
to discuss. Three of them dealing with hamstring injuries. Mike Williams left the game with a hamstring injury this past week. Don't know the severity yet. You know, those guys generally all fall into the same category where you kind of have to wait until Thursday to see what their practice report looks like, and then just monitor it up until game time and hope they're not playing in the 8 p.m.s like Devontae Adams was last week, who he was almost to go. So I think we'll see him play this week.
Hmm.
But
I
again,
agree with
keep an
that.
eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Alan Lazard did great as the top target in Aaron
Hmm.
Rodgers. Still unreal offense. He's chucking the ball downfield this year. A little bit of a resurrection himself. Um, and then Chris Godwin apparently has been diagnosed with a hamstring strain as well, and he's already been. I believe Tampa Bay. They haven't put him on the IR, but I think
Hmm.
he's already listed as out for the year, or not for the year. Sorry, the week, and he's going to miss at least this week, potentially more time moving forward.
He's been missing a lot
So
of time.
yeah, between the concussion and now a hamstring, no correlation there as far as I'm concerned with. But
No.
if you're dealing with a concussion and you're not doing conditioning to maintain your lower body fitness, then perhaps that's the correlation there. But I won't make it
Yeah.
a direct. That's
And
blasphemy.
then Deontay Johnson, he's been really solid. He looked good at the start of the year. He got a lot of targets in a PPR format. He was doing great. What happened to him? I don't even know his injury. So what happened?
Concussion.
Mm,
I didn't see it, so I don't know the severity of the hit. But some hits look benign, and it's a severe concussion, and some hits look severe, and there's no concussion, so you can't really draw any conclusion. But this is one to monitor. Again, if he got concussed on a Sunday, the soonest he would be able to play again would be this upcoming Sunday. So any setbacks in his recovery would immediately push him off to next week. I don't know if there's a language used in the daily practice reports that could allude to if he's on track or not. But, look at that language. And if you have any questions about it, just shoot me a message and I can try and help interpret. Otherwise, the options there, we still have Juju is
hmm.
looking better
A
than he did last
resurgence.
year. Not as good as his sophomore year,
Mm-mm.
but I believe him and Big Ben are developing a connection again. Eric Ebron had a solid week. James Conner had a solid week, and then look to James Washington and Chase Claypool. If
Hmm.
if you're not in Dynasty, if you're in Dynasty, they're probably already
They're
on
gone.
rosters.
Mapletron.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe you can get Washington for a third, Claypool for a second at this point, if you're really looking to add somebody right now. But it would probably only be a couple of spot starts until Deontay Johnson's back, with the hopes of maybe some long-term upside if Juju is no longer with the Steelers at the end of the year.
Yeah, I sneakily added some Chase Claypool this week before waivers. before the game started. I added him just because I thought, he's going to be a guy who might break out this week. Deontay Johnson just got hurt, so it looks like a win for me in some redraft leagues that I picked him up in because he was on waivers. I was hurt. A.J. Brown was hurt. I have A.J. Brown literally everywhere, so it just has killed my lineups. And then we have a pair of Raiders wide receivers who are hurt. Henry Ruggs and
Yes.
Bryan Edwards. I only included Bryan Edwards' name because he popped up on the injury report, but Henry Ruggs is still
Yeah.
hurt.
What I believe Edwards was an ankle
An
sprain,
ankle. Yeah.
but I could not find much more on it than that. So we'll probably update that one Saturday when we're talking about the sits and starts of the week.
Yeah.
But again, keep an eye on it. And then Ruggs is a hamstring. This is a guy who's their downfield guy. He's their field stretcher. They want him to be their Tyreek Hill. So a hamstring strain for a guy like that, I would not expect them to rush him back. If they do rush him back, that could be asking for, the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on there.
As a guy with a lot of rugs, it kind of hurts to see him get hurt. He's a smaller guy, so I don't know what kind of BMI he has, but it's not good to see him get hurt because he's got hurt in the offseason as well, I believe. When he was moving stuff, he got cut by a sword or something.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that
I was
story?
going to say I do. I was going to say I'm more of a hardwood guy than a rugs guy. Hopefully somebody enjoys that joke. But
one.
yeah, he was helping a friend move and cut his hand or something. That's just a freak thing, and I don't believe that has led to any demise this season. But a hamstring injury on a guy like that, on a Tyreek Hill, on a Deshaun Jackson, these downfield burners who rely on their speed. We saw Devontae Parker come back less than 100% this past week against the Jaguars. And even Troy Aikman could tell that he didn't look like himself, but he wasn't running any, fly patterns. He was not, he's running his slants and his hooks, his comebacks, whatever it may be.
Yeah. And we saw that with Kenny Galladay as well. He was not taking anything deep. He was going more on curls, more on slants. And the touchdown that he had with Stafford, it was a curl route that was just a break. It was a late break, and he was able to dive in the end zone for a touchdown. So Kenny Galladay's back. That is huge for us as injury report updaters. We love Kenny Galladay, so please,
we need some good news that some guys are coming back. And and speaking to that, that's how it should be managed. That's how teams, how coaches, and PTs and strength coaches should manage their players. If you have a big name guy who needs to get back on the field that is going to change your offense, bring him back on a limited snap count and a limited route tree. And don't force him to do what his body is not ready to do. So perhaps we'll see that with a Ruggs or a Devontae Adams this week.
And speaking about big names, DJ Chark, he is hurt, and I'm not sure the severity of it.
He's going to play this week, I think.
He's going to play this week? Okay, that's
good
news.
I was reading up on that earlier. Yeah, it is good news. Okay. We need some Chark in our life. Minshew needs some Chark, and we need some good Minshew.
Yeah, I mean, Chark in the water is over there in Jacksonville, dude. So, all right, well, I think we got through all our names on this list. We're going to hit you with some start and sits later on in the week. Kyle and I will be back. We're going to tell you Jeff Wilson Jr. again. We're going to tell you some Andy Isabella. Probably not Andy Isabella, but we'll tell you some good names. So come back on and listen. We'll probably have that ready on Saturday for you guys, right in time for your lineup setting. So I hope you guys have a good week and enjoy some Thursday night football. Anything you want to say, Kyle, before we head off?
Fucking Brett Rippin against Sam Darnold, Broncos against Jets. We're going to have to find something to bet on this week to enjoy that game.
Oh, yeah. Alcohol.
Yeah, listen in or watch tomorrow night when Memphis and I do the fabulous big bet, and we'll come up with some sort of fun way to enjoy a Broncos-Jets Thursday night game this week. How about that?
Oh, yeah. I'll be there listening. So I hope you all have a good night, and thanks for listening.